Stadium this afternoon. Another chance to go through today's team for you. I'll quickly when the team take the field just before kick-off in about 15 minutes' time. What's like that? 10 minutes to kick off now. Stephen French in goal for Guiseley. Number 2, Robertson. 3, Brett Parker. Number 4, Adie, 5, Shane Colin. Number 6, James Lawler. 7, Wayne Brooks. 8, Danny Boschel. Are we on? 9, Johnson. 10, Nicky Boschel.
Well, good afternoon and welcome here to Guiseley AFC Radio. Sorry if you didn't pick it up just then. We were having a little bit of a technical gremlin moment, but we're on air now for the Lions' big trip down to Boston United for what promises to be a very important Vanarama Conference North game between the Lions and the Pilgrims here. Of course, Guiseley have been frustrated in recent weeks with postponements, fixture rearrangements that have had to be cancelled due to FA Trophy commitments of our opponents, and namely AFC Fylde. So it'll be great to get back onto the field and play again, Adie. And Adie Towers is joining me alongside this afternoon. And Adie, it must have been a frustrating period not being on the pitch.
Yeah, it's been very difficult, but although I suppose...
No, keep going. Sorry, Adie, just keep going.
Yeah, it's been quite frustrating, but I mean, I suppose the upside has been it's given people more recovery time from the injuries that we've had. Certainly last weekend we would have had Gavin Rothery struggling, we would have had OJ struggling, we would have had Ryan Tilson back from his injury, but another week is going to help, as it will for Wayne Brooksby. So perhaps a slight blessing in disguise, but you just maybe wonder we might be a little bit ring rusty.
So, of course, we've also been tweeting to say if you've got any questions for Adie, who's going to be giving us his insight and his view to all things Guiseley, do tweet us at Guiseley Radio, taking all of your points on air this afternoon. And first of all, we've got a few questions coming through from various fans asking us a couple of things which we'll come to shortly. First of all, just talk about this pitch out here and what we've got in front of us. It does seem, it looks from a distance to be a good surface. Is that true when you've been down on the field?
Well, I mean, when we first went on it, when we first got here, it looks okay, but it's quite bubbly. It's got a lot of sand on it. I mean, we have seen worse, but I think when you see it from this view now, which is quite high up, it is both bubbly and sandy, and I suspect it'll be slightly too paced as well.
Well, as you can probably hear, there's a good following from the Lions behind us or alongside us here today, so there'll be good support as well for the team, even though Guiseley are facing quite a tricky surface this afternoon. Let's just quickly go through those two team lineups. First, for Boston United, who lost 2-1 last weekend at Harrogate Town, a game I know a number of Guiseley fans have taken in due to the fact that the Lions game was postponed, that big derby against Bradford Park Avenue. They line up as follows: Joel Dixon, Tom McNamee, Liam Mars, Grant Roberts, Scott Garner, the captain, Carl Piergiani, Kane Felix, Zach Mills, Dale Southwell, Mark Jones and Nicky Walker, and on the bench Mark Newsham, Alex Simmons, Michael Hollingsworth, Messiah McDonald, who joined on loan this week from Alfreton, and Sam Vince. For Guiseley, it's Stephen Drench in goal. Ryan Tilson returns after his injury, making a first team start back at right back. Ben Parker captain again today. Danny Lowe and Shane Killick are the two centre halves. Jake Lawler, Wayne Brooksby, Danny Boschel, Alex Johnson, Nicky Boschel and Gavin Rothery. Of course, no Adam Boys, who's serving his 3-match suspension, his last of the suspensions that he has to serve this afternoon. On the bench, Jordan Hendry, Danny Ellis on the bench, Jack Stockdill, Ollie Johnson and Steve Dickinson. What can you tell us about the line-up today, Adie?
Well, I think, as you say, we're all pleased to see Ryan back. When we first saw his injury, we thought that Tully might be out for a long time, but he's recovered very well. Brooksby back also following his hammy tweak. Good to see Wayne back. Say he would have played last week, but an extra week is money in the bank for him in terms of recovery. Nicky Bosch has done well recently. Danny Ellis is slightly both under the weather and got a little bit of an injury, so on the bench. Ollie Johnson, people forget that he hasn't played consecutive games to the extent he has this season for a number of years, and so he's just carrying with two sort of bits of niggling injuries, so good for off the bench but probably not good for 90 minutes. So the squad's slightly strengthened compared to where we were at Tamworth, and we've got Andy Holter will return, we hope sooner than we thought, because of his hamstring injury as far as we thought. He was capable of jogging today. And Danny Hall out on loan at Adie has already played 3 full games. So things are slowly coming round.
Okay, well, let's just turn to those questions now. We've got one or two in from the Twitter feed. First of all, Adam Britson, he's asking about any new signings. Are there any players in the offing, Adie?
I think one of the interesting things about this time of the season, and certainly I've talked to Mark and Bosch about this at length, the board have, given us permission to go and strengthen if we can. But I think many Guiseley fans will remember in recent seasons we have made strengthening attempts around about this time, and frankly got players in that haven't strengthened and maybe to some extent have upset the squad. So we're very keen that what we bring in is going to be absolutely what we need, rather than just anything that's basically another squad member.
Okay, so nothing particularly concrete on that front, but always looking, I guess, is the overriding message.
And as I say, a long conversation on the bus on the way here with Mark about that, but we're determined to get it right.
Okay, and in terms of the next question then, we've obviously been having an awful lot of discussion in recent months about planning applications and the ground development. Any news on that?
Well, I think we've had a frustrating time, as everybody knows, but the reality is that the plans are now with the council. There's a number of comments, the planning people, a number of comments about those plans which we've dealt with. Number of meetings and further dialogue both this week just gone and next week, and we're on track to appear at the next planning meeting, which is going to be in early February. Okay,
excellent. So we've still nothing concrete, nothing
it's frustrating,
one way or the other.
I have to say we're confident that what we've now drawn up is both the best use of the site. It maximises the benefit for the club and community, and we hope that we get the green light as soon as possible.
Well, obviously it's a longer process than many of us are used to, but so no particular. So no, you're not really giving us much insight to anything at the moment, Adie. There's no news on it. Anything of any.
I mean, the thing is about the planning side.
I'm just ribbing you.
Well, I know, but I think we all find the planning thing incredibly frustrating. But the situation is that we need the result that we need to get on with the work, and so we just have to go along with the endless requirements that the council throw at us.
Okay, so let's now. We're just having some technical gremlins at our side, and so Adie's doing a marvellous job because the buzzing in our ears is. It's like we've suddenly got a major bout of tinnitus, but I think I've managed to sort out the problem eventually here.
It's torture.
It's probably torture for you on your side as well. Don't forget, we are taking questions with Adie up until kick-off. Adie Towers, club secretary, chief exec, bottle washer, whatever we throw at him. Shadow's question for Adie is, could you speak a bit louder or maybe turn on your microphone?
It's a technical thing.
So thanks for that, Philip Crimes. If you have any questions, do tweet us at Guiseley Radio. So back here again, Boston United, always a tough ground for us, isn't it? This was the ground that Mark Bauer made his managerial debut, didn't he?
Yes, we hope we have a better day than that. I've been lost 3-0 here last year, but no, I mean, I still view this as being sort of a football league club in waiting almost, so there's always a buzz whenever you come here. It feels like a proper place. They're a club for whom I've got massive respect. They're nice people off the pitch. They've rescued the club from an absolute nightmare that they had some years back, and they're always a sort of a playoff stroke promotion threat. So it'll be difficult here today. They have strengthened this week, as you say, Colin. They brought in the lad Messiah MacDonald from Alfreton on loan. We also looked at him, but he decided not for us. But they've also brought in Tom McNamee on loan from Sunderland. So it's fair to say Mr. Green, the manager's always dabbling in the loan market, trying to strengthen. Very down as a club at the moment in terms of results. They have some great results followed by poor ones. So it's really which one turns up today.
It's like you say, this is a grand old stadium, and obviously they've got plans to replace this with a new development as well. A real league club from 10 years ago. They were right up there. I was reminded of the fact this is the last place that Paul Gascoigne played his football at. Yes. In 2004. He played 4 games for the club in total. So it is a fantastic venue and a club that has great potential, no doubt. But in terms of that they've been showing this season. They haven't had the consistency, they haven't had the performance, and I think lots of us went to see them last week after the postponement against Harrogate Town, but they lost.
They got caught cold there, I thought, by both conditions and slope. Harrogate hit them with 2 early goals in the first 20 minutes. After that, I thought Boston were much the better side on a very tricky pitch, but Harrogate hung on to win. So, as I say, I think you don't really know which of the 2 Bostons or 3 Bostons or 12 Bostons will turn up. I mean, truthfully, we hope they have a poor day, don't we? So I think one of the striking things as well here, quite high up, looking at the stadium today, is it does look a thin crowd by the standards of Boston, doesn't it?
Yeah, they were expecting about 1,000, I think they were forecasting for today. But like you say, a very big stadium, a decent sized stadium, good capacity here. A few more questions coming in. One's come from Craig Bellaby. He probably didn't hear your comment before, but he was asking about squad strengthening, loan players coming in for the promotion push to get us over the line this time. We've covered that. You said you're always looking for it, but let's just touch on, actually, in terms of the playing staff and how we are developing the youth and the academy setup so that there's a linear path towards playing to the first team.
Well, funnily enough, we've had meetings about that this week with Dave Curry and his supporting coaches, Danny Ellis, Colin Seal, etc., looking at exactly that life cycle, as it were. That the idea is that you have a path from the age of 14 with the development squad to the first team, a sort of a Guiseley way of doing it. We've over 100 young footballers involved in that setup now, and you do have to view it as a life cycle, as a development cycle. We have had a number of young players get through to the fringes of the first team, but it's a matter of how we make that a sort of a more a clearer path, almost a Guiseley way of doing it, which is what we're trying to build.
So we'll just keep looking at the questions that have come through, but I'll just go through those 2 teams again for you. Boston United, they line up with Joel Dixon in goal, Tom McNamee, Liam Mars, Grant Roberts, Scott Garner, the captain, Carl Piagiani, Kane Felix, Zach Mills, Dale Southwell, Mark Jones and Nicky Walker. For the Lions, we line up with Stephen Drench in goal, Ryan Toulson back from injury, Ben Parker, Danny Lowe and Shane Killick, the 2 centre-halves. Danny Ellis dropped to the bench. Jake Lawler and Danny Boschel holding midfields. Wayne Brooksby, Nicky Bosch and Gavin Rothery, the 3 behind Alex Johnson. The 2 sets of players coming out to applause from the very vociferous visiting fans here. We've travelled in a reasonable number, but certainly making a good shout. One more question, Adie, just before we get into the football matters. Tommy Broadwell's just asked about the Netherfield car park. Evening games have put a barrier up which closes about 7:30. What do you know about that?
Yes, well, we did speak to the councillors about that when that happened. It was done as an anti-vandalism and hooliganism thing because of difficulties in that car park with antisocial behaviour in an evening. As we understand it, and Phil Rogerson has the detail, is the barrier stays open till 7:45, we believe, but it will open to allow people to exit. It's not like you're trapped in there. But it is designed and remotely controlled by the council's staff to ensure that there's no low-level vandalism and antisocial behaviour in the car park on other evenings.
So the club's parking arrangements aren't going to be affected negatively at all by this whatsoever?
As we understand it, they remain untouched, yes.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, well, thanks for all your tweets. If you do have any other questions, we'll try and get through to them if there's a lull in play across the course of the afternoon. Hopefully there won't be, because hopefully it'll be a thrilling game of football. We have got a very important game ahead of us, haven't we, this afternoon? And we've talked very much about how difficult a place this is to come to. But in terms of this point in the season, this is quite a critical point, isn't it?
Yeah, if you look at the way Fylde are just flying along, I mean, they look at the moment to be the team to catch. I have to say that Barrow have also got the important knack of winning games late on as well. So I think it's very important that, well, first of all, it's about quality of performance and getting back on it today, about getting 3 points. But it's also about the gap not getting too big as well. So, yeah, this is massively important for us today, and I think I'm sure Mark and Bosch hope that we make a statement today.
So we're just a few minutes from kick-off. One last question has come in, actually, George McPherson asking if there's any Guiseley fans who've come today. Yes, there are, and I've no idea how many. Well,
certainly we had an almost full supporters bus, and I would suggest we're probably about 60 or 70 here.
Yeah, so it's a good number today in the attendance to our right. It reminds me a little bit of the trip we had to Grimsby, where they were very impressed, weren't they, with our travelling support that afternoon compared to the conference general turnout. So here we go. Anyway, the two sides are just going through the coin toss. The referee today, Robert Massey Ellis. He's going to be assisted by Oliver Bickle and Tim Walker. And the Lions, we are actually behind the goal in this stadium, which is an unusual position actually for us to be in a commentary sense. So we will be behind the goal. Guiseley are going to be playing in white with blue shorts, dark navy blue shorts as normal, our home kit, navy blue socks. Boston United play in orange and black halves, black shorts and black socks, and just in a huddle on the edge of the centre circle as they just get prepared for this game. And obviously they'll be keen to be making a statement, perhaps to get the points, perhaps to press on and threaten those playoff positions, because there is scope for them, isn't there, to get into that position.
I think anybody in the top 12 can still make the playoffs. You would go down as far as one above Harrogate, still able to make the playoffs. I mean, Harrogate could make the playoffs, but I believe mathematically they'd have to win every game now. Yeah,
it is quite striking, isn't it? They got that result last weekend, and you could sort of see that there was a possibility they could do that. Yeah.
But I think particularly around the 5th spot, I think everybody in the top 12 is still in it.
So, kick-off, and we are underway with Boston United in their orange and amber and black halves, shooting to the goal far end of the ground from us. On the ball now with McNamee.
I think we may have won the toss as well, because the sun is very much in the Boston keeper's eyes, isn't it?
Boston have the ball though in the midway point of Guiseley's half, and actually it's a stray pass that puts the ball all the way to Stephen Drench. And
they clearly have tried to start quickly as well, haven't they? They've tried to put us under pressure in the first couple of minutes.
Like you say, there is a fair breeze as well, isn't there, in the air, and a low sun, so difficult conditions. Wayne Brooksby chasing the ball, having recovered from that hamstring injury, and able to play again today. Down the right-hand flank, gets the ball to Ryan Tulson, flicked into the area, flicked up in the air by Gavin Rothery, safely in the hands of Joel Dixon.
That was decent, wasn't it? It's also the case that as a point of tactics, the ball is going to hold up in both corners because it's very wet by the tunnel. So, tactic for Wayne to be able to run onto a ball that might otherwise go out.
Guiseley harrying, scurrying after the Boston defence at the moment. And Pierre Gianni, who was missing for Boston's game at Harrogate Town last week, just had to put a bit of a loose foot through that. Boston have recovered possession, though, inside their own half on the left-hand side. In left-back position. Throw-in just goes upfield.
To go back to the tweet, by the way, I think the guys' support's particularly vociferous as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. You can probably hear that just behind us. And a good shout out for the sponsors, Vanarama, as well, as the song of Vanarama resonates around the Guiseley supporters. Guiseley, in the meantime, defending inside their own half. The ball cleared by Ryan Tulson, sent down that right channel. Alex Johnson this time chasing it. Pierre Gianni actually can just watch that one as it bounces dead, really.
There was absolutely no bounce, was it? Just as you said, just died, didn't it? It's been a bit of a messy start from both teams, actually. I don't think either team's come to terms with the surface yet. And as you say, there's a strong wind more or less across the pitch. Very bright sunshine and a pudding of a pitch. So it isn't a day for perfect football, is it?
Stephen Drench gets the ball.
Super kick.
Gives a good hoof forward, and then Guiseley win a free kick for a aerial foul by Zach Mills on Alex Johnson.
That was very naive defending there, wasn't it? AJ does what he does, backs in, and Mills just bought it, didn't he?
So Guiseley,
thankfully, so did the referee.
So Guiseley have a free kick a few yards in from the centre circle, fairly central. We've got 4 or 5 players forward, including Shane Killock. Angle. It's clipped forward by Danny Boschel, straight onto the head of Pierre Gianni. Back to Nicky Boschel, Danny Boschel, and then Nicky Boschel get their lines mixed up. A little slip from Nicky Boschel, and now is a counter-attack on here for Boston United. Dane Southwell goes in, and a good save comes from Stephen Drench. Southwell was through on the edge of the 18-yard box, drive towards the goal, palmed away by Drench, and the first corner of the game will be to Boston.
That was awful. I mean, as we just talked about a tricky pitch, we try and play an intricate pass in the middle of the park, and 20 seconds later the lads got a shot away. Very poor, very annoying.
So, corner to Boston United from the right-hand side as they attack the Guiseley goal. And this one the first forays for the Pilgrims in this game. They get it into the area. There's a chance here for Southwell. Agali gets a drive in, and it's blocked and cleared by the Guiseley defence and helped away now towards Gavin Rothery, who's up towards the halfway line, plays the ball forward towards Alex Johnson, cut out for a throw-in, but that was a real opportunity there for Dale Southwell.
Decent save by Drenchy as well the first time around. It was just sloppy though, you know, we've created our own problems there, haven't we?
Keeping you up to speed with the conference, Vanarama Conference North, the conference, the FA Trophy and the FA Cup as well throughout this afternoon. Well, not all of the FA Cup games, because we have been told about that with our fans about wanting to save the results for match of the day, but we are going to keep a tab on Bradford City versus Chelsea.
Who?
Oxford City 0, Barrow 1 though with the early scoreline, so not a great start scorelines wise. Guiseley meanwhile on the ball here with Alex Johnson, gets the ball out to the right hand side, picked up by Ryan Toulson. Square here to Danny Boschel, back for Toulson, and Boschel just exchanging passes inside the Boston half, chipped forward by Danny Boschel up towards the edge of the area. Piergiani over the head of Alex Johnson, nods the ball away. Shout for free kick, none given. Guiseley recover the ball with the second phase. Now with Wayne Brooksby, cuts infield, goes towards the edge of the area. He's closed down there by Garner. Ball comes out to the left-hand side where Ben Parker is in an advanced position, but he then sends it back to the halfway line, and Danny chips it towards Nicky Boschel, but it was comfortable for McNamee to clear.
The ball wouldn't sit for the shot there from Wayne, would it?
No, it wouldn't from distance. He just couldn't get the shot lined up. And Guiseley now recover possession here with Jake Lawler inside the centre circle. Out to Wayne Brooksby on the right-hand side. Guiseley just knocking the ball around in little triangular moves, but not making any headway at the moment. Now Brooksby on the ball sends it infield to Danny Boschel.
It's interesting, isn't it, that the home fans get very impatient very quickly though here, don't they? They were already murmuring, you know.
Up towards Alex Johnson. Good header comes in here from Zach Mills, and the ball is out for Ben Parker. He throws it infield towards Gavin Rothery. Good header away, and Guiseley recover the second phase again, but Danny Boschel plants his pass into the head of Southwell, but Guiseley win the ball back again. Ben Parker on the left-hand side. He's beaten to it by Garner, and now Boston United look for the counter-attack. Tied it up by Toulson, back to Drench.
Parker's hurt himself as well.
Yes, Ben Parker's just hobbling back up the field. I don't know if that was... It was in the collision with Garner, wasn't it? But I don't know whether
they both hung a leg rather, and he's come off worst.
Ball back with Stephen Drench at the moment. Ben Parker on his haunches, trying to run it off at the moment. Couple of other goals here. There's Halifax have taken the lead. Now Guiseley at the meantime just get the ball from Drench's clear out, so it almost goes straight to Alex Johnson, but this defended well in the end. We'll come to those scores shortly.
Parker's not going to make it.
Ben Parker's put his hands up and he looks like he's coming off, and Boston at the meantime have come away on the counter-attack, and it's a great run, and now a chance for the first goal. Yes, and it's there. Kane Felix. It was a good run from Nicky Walker down the right-hand side. Ben Parker was out of position with injury, and the ball played across by Nicky Walker to Felix, and very early on in this game it's Boston United who have taken the lead after 8 minutes gone. Boston United 1, Guiseley 0. And the curse, it seems, of full-back injuries and the presence of space allowing the opposition to get the advantage has struck again in 2015, because Ben Parker was missing at that point because he was injured, and Guiseley have been undone on the counter-attack because of it. And Nicky Walker had made up plenty of yards, played the ball across to Felix, and he had the simplest job just to tap home. And Ben Parker currently on the ground receiving treatment. And Adie, that is the worst possible start.
Yes, on about 3 different fronts, because as I said to you before, the goal, Parker was clearly struggling, but we couldn't get the ball out of play. And the reality is that he's such a key component of the team. You know, he's not just a very good fullback, but he's also a very creative player as well. So, you know, you not only have you lost a goal, but you've lost creation as well.
Well, Danny Ellis is warming up on the bench at the moment, just running up and down the touchline. Parker will come across. He's had some treatment. And guys, you're a goal down, I'm afraid. It's not the great start that we were hoping for. Halifax 1-0 up in the trophy against Dartford. Hyde and Gloucester is already 1 goal each. Chorley are beating Gainsborough 1-0. There's a goal for Brackley at home to Lowestoft, 1-0 there, and Stockport are 1-0 up against Leamington. So lots of early goals in the Vanarama Conference North.
Parker's returned, thankfully, but how much he'll get through, who knows. I have to say though that we must have run over a cat or something at the moment, because the luck is just simply not going our way, is it?
It's very similar, wasn't it, to that goal against Tamworth where Andy Holdsworth went down injured, and 2 seconds later it was up the other end, and it really did contribute to the goal in that occasion, and same again this afternoon. I
must confess, I'm less than impressed by the way the players managed to adjust themselves, because somebody just ran straight through a space. You've got to be responsible. Now
Guiseley trying to muster an immediate response, but Gavin Rothery just couldn't
Parker's
thread it towards Nicky Boschel. And Adie he's not playing on, is he? He's got to come off, hasn't he? He's hobbling quite badly, quite heavily on that left-hand side at the moment. Piergiani's got the ball for Boston United.
Need to get the ball out.
Lays it forward into the chest of Danny Boschel, and then it's sent back, and Ben Parker's going to have to come off. Danny Lowe gives it back to Stephen Drench. Drench puts his foot through it, central, into the feet of Danny Boschel.
Put it out.
Jake Lawler gives it to Danny Lowe, and you can hear what Adie wants to happen, but at the moment, Guiseley players aren't responding. And it's played upfield by Felix, the goal scorer, and then taken back by the Lions. Killick to Tilson. Guiseley still playing the ball at their feet. 1 goal down here to Boston United early stages of this game. Guiseley on the ball here with Wayne Brooksby, and Tilson is going backwards, and at the moment that forward momentum that was just prior to the goal has deserted the Lions. Ben Parker is completely on his own in left back position, still on the play, but Guiseley are going to make the change. You can see the bench indicating it. And meanwhile, Pierre Gianni up against Alex Johnson, not winning it, and now a chance here for Boston United to counter-attack. McNamee lays the ball short into Mark Jones, comes over the halfway line. Jones up against Rothery, gets the ball in towards the edge of the D. Tackle comes in here from Tilson, up in the air. Boston win the second phase until Guiseley step across now. Danny Boschel, good ball forward from Danny Boschel, gives Alex Johnson a bit of a chase. He chases down the pass back to the goalkeeper, but Joel Dixon puts a foot through it and clears. Guiseley now win possession back shortly, then a slip, and the Lions actually earn a free kick. I have to say it's a rather generous one. Garner just clips Nicky Boschel, and Guiseley can make the change. No doubt that'll be Danny Lowe back at left back, and Danny Ellis on in centre half again.
It will.
So Ben Parker coming off early doors in this game. Very unfortunate injury. It was just a coming together between him and Garner. Absolutely no malice in the challenge. Absolutely none whatsoever. But 2 players trying to win the ball, and just unfortunately on this occasion, it's the instance that Guiseley the Guiseley man has just come off worse with an ankle injury. So Danny Ellis will come on and immediately take his place in the opposition penalty area, because Guiseley have a free kick and have an opportunity to swing this one in. It's a few yards in from the touchline on the left-hand side as the Lions attack this Boston goal. Floated in by Wayne Brooksby, headed away well. Picked up now by Felix, and Felix completes the clearance well. Boston United trying to work it out with their passing move down the right-hand side. It's back in right back though position with McNamee, but he works it out well across to Piergiani.
They've worked that very well, haven't they? Because in fairness, we were pressing quite well, but they've done quite well. But then again, the surface is so treacherous that people are just giving the ball away all the time, aren't they?
Now is a good chance here for Guiseley to recover the ball. Jake Lawler with the good interception, with Wayne Brooksby on the left-hand side, just up from the corner flag, blasts it against the Boston defenders. Did well. Gets the corner, and that's Guiseley's first corner of the game. Good work there from Wayne Brooksby.
Outbreak of intelligence there. That was well worked by Wayne, wasn't it?
He just took it down to the corner flag, didn't try to do anything more than earn the corner. Guiseley have got it. Brooksby swings it in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, cleared well by McNamee. Couldn't really beat the first man. It wasn't the best delivery, I think, from Guiseley's perspective.
You're a very charitable soul.
And Lions have a throw-in inside the Boston half, picked up here by Rothery. Now Danny Lowe plays a good ball in towards Nicky Boschel, flicked out here to Wayne Brooksby on the left-hand side. Brooksby cuts back, wins the ball and keeps hold of the ball. gives it to Jake Lawler. Nicky Boschel, square, poor ball from Nicky Boschel, straight into the feet of Walker, who blasts it forward, pivotal in that first goal and trying to set Dale Southwell on his way. In the end, Stephen Drench comes out and wins that one. And this time Alex Johnson has won a free kick up against Carl Piergiani. And Guiseley have a chance again with the set piece, just about level with the edge of the centre circle.
I also think at the moment, though, Colin, we're trying to play far too much football in difficult circumstances. We're going to have to, adjust our style to suit this pitch. You're not going to dribble past players on this surface, are you?
Now Nicky Boschel with a free kick floats this one up towards the back post, headed away by Piergiani again, and Felix can complete the clearance, but in the end he actually sends it over to the...
That was a decent free kick, actually.
Stand onto the roof there. It was a good ball, wasn't it, into towards the back post. Lacking the aerial presence, though, where Piergiani was.
Yep.
Jake Lawler muscling and battling to win the ball back for Guiseley. Gives it out to the right-hand side where Ryan Toulson chips it forward, looking for Nicky Boschel up against Piergiani. The centre-half does well again to win the ball back for Boston, but Guiseley have the throw and they take it quick and they move the ball quickly. Danny Boschel looking for options, plays it out to the right-hand side. Ryan Toulson, he played a ball into no man's land really, and there's a couple of slips that almost worked favourably for Guiseley. In the end it's cleared.
Well, it's a ball that works on a good surface, but it's not going to work on this, is it?
Guiseley meanwhile battling to try and win it back in the air, and have done so with Jake Lawler now into the feet of Alex Johnson. He's under pressure from Zach Mills, loses the ball. Killick intercepts, plays it down the left-hand side. Danny Lowe's up and heads it up in the air. Now Alex Johnson up against Mills again, battling to win the ball back. Plays it infield here to Danny Boschel. Little flick from Boschel's. The two brothers try to flick the ball to each other, but it's too complicated, and Guiseley almost caught on the counter-attack again, have to slip the ball back to Stephen Drench. The sort of 4 and 5 pass intricate little moves just outside the 18-yard box just are simply not going to work on this. Clearance from Stephen Drench now finds Alex Johnson running down this left-hand flank. Can he get into the penalty area? He's going away from goal. He tries to shoot it across the face of the 6-yard box. Not convinced. He still have the ball. Rothery back to Lawler. Lawler spreads it out to the other angle. Good ball from Jake Lawler. Finds Ryan Toulson. He curls one into the area up towards Nicky Boschel. Punch from the goalkeeper. Wayne Brooks beyond the edge of the area. Gets a shot away. Takes a deflection. It goes over, but it took a deflection off a Guiseley man. It will indeed be a goal kick, but that was perhaps the Lions' brightest opportunity in this game. That was decent. There was some decent football in that, and the keeper was under pressure a couple of times. AJ did well. The ball wouldn't sit for the shot, but even so, yeah, encouraging and actually less complex. You just have to play scruffy football on a scruffy pitch. So in the FA Trophy, FC United have taken the lead at home to AFC Fylde. So they are beatable, Adie. 1-0. I think we've got massive respect for them, but I think they're eminently beatable. It's just that they have the ability to grind out results. It's early doors in that game, of course. And in fairness, FC are decent. Yes. They're up there on the edge of the promotion battle in the Unibomb Prem. Sorry, Evo Stick Prem. some glue or other Prem. Guiseley have the ball on the halfway line, not making any headway at the moment. And Boston win it back just in front of the dugouts in the main stand on the right-hand side as Boston are attacking the goal. There's about 3 or 4 players battling away for it. Felix comes away with it. Eventually he takes the last touch in a tackle, and it's gone behind for a throw-in for Guiseley. A very scrappy period of play. Chelsea have taken the lead against Bradford City in the FA Cup, so perhaps that particular miracle won't happen. If the bookies are offering you odds of 30-1, that miracle's never going to happen, is it? Jake Lawler on the ball on the halfway line. Gives it to Danny Boschel. Boschel out to the right-hand side where Wayne Brooksby collects. He cuts in field. Can't get past Nicky Walker. Goes back to Danny Boschel. And then irritatingly, we're playing all the football, but to little effect, aren't we? It is sort of knocking around the halfway line. Still on the halfway line here with Shane Killick. Out to the other hand where Lowe cuts again in field to Jake Lawler. Good ball from Jake Lawler. Yeah. Finds Gavin Rothery. Rothery threads a good one in here for Danny Lowe to counter, to try and cross from the left-hand side. Came up from left back, slid in to try and cross the ball. Just went a little bit away from him, and it's behind for a goal kick. These don't defend well, do they?
if you look at the last two Guiseley attacks with a better final ball, there would have been a real opportunity. So there's hope here actually, because they don't defend well at all.
Well, as you say, the ball down the channels is holding up, and it's a simple move, but it's working quite effectively when we're playing it.
Yep.
Problem is trying to pass the ball through too much, and at the moment Boston have just recovered the ball in such circumstances, played it up towards Southwell. He's beaten to it by Danny Ellis.
The referee will be relieved that didn't result in an assist, won't he?
He did bounce off the referee in the build-up to that play and felt very kindly for Boston.
The good Captain Ellis.
Now Brooksby takes over on the halfway line, gives it to Ellis, out to the right-hand side, Toulson. Ellis not 100% today, so was on the bench, but had to be called on early, and has already shored up the centre-half position, as usual. A little nod away from McNamee. Guiseley trying to win it back. Danny Ellis across to recover the ball. Looks ahead of him. Chips it forward, up towards Alex Johnson. Infield here to Danny Lowe. Oh, and a poor ball from Danny Lowe. He's given it straight here to Mark Jones, and Jones is tackled by Ryan Toulson. Excellent recovery work there from the Guiseley fullback, but Jones surely should have had an opportunity, at least a shot away at goal in that position.
Yeah, and I think that's the third time in the game now, in 20 minutes, that our instinct to play could have cost us 3 goals.
I don't know quite what was going on there with Danny Lowe's ball. Perhaps he thought somebody was there. It just looked like a very bad ball to play, and almost conceded a second for Guiseley. But on the other hand, we're up at the other side of the field now with Gavin Rothery just winning a throw on the left-hand flank as we attack the Boston goal.
This is a sort of a Sunday pitch, isn't it? And it's resulting in Sunday football, with no disrespect to Sunday footballers.
I don't take it as a disrespect. Guiseley win it back here with Danny Lowe.
I don't think I've ever seen 20 minutes where, at this level, where teams have given it away so much and won it back so much.
Wayne Brooksby now on the right-hand side, a great crossfield
well
ball
played
out
by
to
Wayne
him.
Brooksby.
Does well, holds it up, gives it to Ryan Toulson, into Danny Boschel. Brooksby takes it back into Jake Lawler. 1-2. Guys, again, playing the football, trying to thread it through, not getting the delivery that's needed, and Boston cutting it out. And again, guys, are winning it back. Winning it back well this time. Wayne Brooksby, shot from distance, wayward, bobbled in front of him, didn't it? And then he hit it with the left foot, and it skewed well wide.
The locals can weigh from now till the end of time. If I'm the Boston boss, I'm starting to worry about that, because we've done that 4 times now, last few minutes. And all right, none of the attempts on goal have been particularly sparkling, but the fact is, mistakes are being made just outside their own 18-yard box by Boston. So hope here.
You're just joining us, unfortunately. 21 minutes gone. The Lions trailing to an early Kane Felix goal. And we've lost Ben Parker as well, who's gone off with looks like an ankle injury. And now Guiseley have conceded a free kick. And the home crowd cheer in an ironic sense that they feel they haven't had the rub of the green. I can't say there hasn't been a tackle worthy of the name, has there? No, I was going to say exactly the same. It's not been that sort of afternoon, but now it's a chance for Boston to get the long ball into the area. They've got it about 10 yards in from the halfway line, just about level with the edge of the penalty area, but some distance out, and it's going to be swung in towards the penalty spot, headed away by Jake Lawler, picked up now by Wayne Brooksby. Guys, he defend it well. Gavin Rothery, closed down by 3 players, plays it up towards Alex, but Nicky Boschel takes over. Good tackle comes in from him. It's Felix in the end who makes the tackle. Nicky Boschel tries to take the quick throw, but it's away from everyone. And Alex Johnson chasing down to try and win the ball back, but Boston recover possession well. And it had some promise, that attacking move, but then the ball's gifted back to Nicky Boschel on the edge of the 18-yard box, sent into Wayne Brooksby. He's crowded out by 3 players. Guys who keep possession. It's out to Ryan Toulson on the right flank. That was a really poor ball by Nicky Boschel there, because there was a real opportunity there, wasn't there? And then the 1-2 between Toulson and Wayne Brooksby is equally poor. The passing football just not working for either side at the moment. Possession. You can't judge the pace on it, because there are bits where it's zipping and there are bits where it's sticking. So it's, I must say though, gratifying that we are winning the ball back a lot, aren't we? Now, good one from Gavin Rothery. Win the ball back and give it to Alex Johnson, but he's on the angle of the penalty area on the left-hand side. The ball out to Danny Lowe, whips it in, headed away once again. Good ball in there from Danny Lowe. Good work there from Alex Johnson. And Johnson again, looks like he might have taken a knock that time in trying to win that ball. Gets the ball gifted back to him, drives the ball into the goal and just wide of the upright and behind. But Alex Johnson gifted possession, drilled the ball in towards a goal. Had the beating of Joel Dixon, but just wasn't on target, and it's a few inches wide of that upright and behind for a goal kick.
That's 5 times in about 5 minutes they've given the ball away in that circumstance, and the natives are becoming restless, aren't they?
Well, they're frustrated. A couple of interesting FA Trophy scorelines as well. FC United 2, Fylde 0. And Farnborough 0, North Ferriby United 1. Stockport have gone 2-0 up again in the Vanarama Conference North. 2-0 up now against Leamington. Boston United lead 1-0 here against the Lions, and have just had a sniff of a chance to come forward, but lost possession. Guiseley have had spent most of this half in the Boston half.
We've probably now had 5 or 6 attempts to their 2, the problem being that one of their 2 resulted in a goal. We've recovered well from the Parker injury, in fairness. The shape looks okay. I think the finishing's lacked conviction. Well, I don't think it has lacked conviction, but the fact is we've looked okay since the goal, actually.
Well, Philip Grimes has just blamed it on you, Adie.
Blamed what on me?
It's the curse of the co-commentator. He's noted that every time you co-commentate with me, we tend to have a bad result.
I give you 3-0 at Stockport.
You weren't co-commentating that day.
Yeah.
You came to have a chat with us beforehand,
okay.
but then you didn't co-commentate. He's got a point. We'll be making the switch at half-time.
Yeah. I'm going home.
We're not missing anything at the moment. The ball's sort of not going anywhere. And a free kick has been given to Boston, rather innocuously. I'm not quite sure what for.
I presume they didn't think there was any advantage accruing, but for that free kick, any one of half a dozen not given is. I have to say that it's been a very peculiar 25 minutes so far, hasn't it?
It's not a flowing game of football.
No.
It's by any stretch of the imagination. Boston just enjoying a little bit more of the ball actually in the last couple of minutes. And they play it up towards the edge of the 18-yard box from this free kick. The goalkeeper, Joel Dixon. Into the area from Liam Mars, headed away. Guiseley recover possession now and come away with it with Danny Boschel playing it long. Up towards Nicky Boschel, headed back to the goalkeeper well by Piergiani. And Joel Dixon rolls it out into the right back, Tom McNamee.
I've just thought of a winning instance, by the way, Brackley away.
You're quite you're shook by that, aren't you?
Yes, I'm deeply shocked and upset.
Guys, they have a throw-in on the left-hand side. Gavin Rothery. Looked like he was going to take it. Gives it to Danny Lowe. Back out to Lowe. Infield here, Jake Lawler.
Well
just
done,
wins
Jake
it on the
Lawler. Very well
halfway line.
done, Jake Lawler. Great ball.
Under pressure there from Mark Jones. Guys, he recover the ball well. And
Tully wants it back.
Keep it, and it's on the right-hand side with Ryan Tulson. Infield towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Cut out by Scott Garnett. And out for another Guiseley throw. Level with the penalty spot on the right-hand side as the Lions attack.
I must say, from their point of view, the sixth Piergiani, he's sort of leading the defence, which looks very shaky indeed. And it hadn't been for him, I suspect we would have been well in front by now.
Tilson now on the ball, tries to thread it into Gavin Rothery. 3 or 4 players around him.
Well
Rothery
done,
with a little bit
Gavin.
of trickery, gives it here to Danny Boschel. Boschel with a bit of a shooting chance there. Gives it to Nicky Boschel instead, into the penalty area. Nicky Boschel drives it in towards goal, but it was always going wide. He was forced out at an angle, and then his effort was
and why
wide.
did he go down, Colin? Because he's fouled twice there, isn't he?
4 players around him, weren't there?
Far too honest there, should have gone down.
He protested after the event to the referee, but Robert Massey Ellis wasn't interested at all.
Probably didn't salute him enough.
Free kick, the goal kick rather, taken by Joel Dixon towards the halfway line. Flicked on by Danny Ellis. Good work from
well done,
Danny Ellis. Wins the ball back, gives it to Nicky Boschel in towards Gavin Rothery. He can't get it away either from the midfield, and it's picked up now by Southwell in towards
The ball's been given an astonishing amount, isn't it?
Both sides struggling with the conditions. Danny Ellis back to Stephen Drench. Ellis, just to remind you, wasn't due to start this afternoon.
Oh, well played.
Great
Very
ball
well
from
played.
Stephen Drench. Finds Ryan Tilson, who just takes it past his man, and then just a little bit of overcomplication from Gavin Rothery, trying to drag the ball back away from Scott Garner, and Garner gets the foot in.
And there was no need, was there? He just could take it in his path and go.
Jake Lawler wins it back, though, for Guiseley inside his own half. Into Danny Boschel. Gavin Rothery. Good ball into the feet of Killick, and now Guiseley can come down this right-hand side.
Well
Good
played.
ball towards Alex Johnson, but he's going to be beaten to it. And it's put out for a throw-in, just up from the corner flag on this right flank.
Getting the ball into channel slightly quicker, Colin. And actually, I mean, I wasn't commentating on the Tamworth game, but I have to say that I think we've played, since we've got a goal behind, we've played okay.
Gavin Rothery on the ball, gives it to Tilson, flicked up in the air. Lions just can't win this one back. Danny Ellis chips it forward again. Alex Johnson will chase this one. Garner's going to have to do something with it. Does. Plays it to the fullback
well
Mars.
played.
Good tackle comes in there from Gavin Rothery. Nicky Boschel in the area. Lays it back. Danny Boschel!
Yeah!
Oh, and the save and the scramble from the goalkeeper, Joel Dixon, just keeps it out. Danny Boschel's drive from the edge of the 18-yard box. It took a palm from Joel Dixon to stop it, but it squirmed and seemed to be heading towards the goal line. Dixon recovered and kept it out, and Adie's frustration.
On a slicker pitch, that goes in, doesn't it?
Adie's frustration, well audible to you all, because we just thought that was just creeping in, didn't we?
In fairness, I didn't think Danny Boschel took the best shot option on, because there was a gaping hole on the other side of the goal, wasn't there? Keeper did well, but again, lots of encouragement for us. You know, we're actually ripping these to bits, aren't we? Truthfully,
We just haven't had the breakthrough yet,
no.
And we're a goal behind.
Lots of errors from them at the back.
Guys, you need to capitalise. We need to capitalise
We
on
do.
these passages of play.
We do.
They can only improve, really, defensively.
And on this surface, you always worry that, you know, some other mistake will happen at the far end as well. That's a great ball.
Ball
That's
forward
a
from
great
Killick
ball.
towards Danny Lowe. Good tackle comes in to deny Danny Lowe, but it was a great run forward, and it was a good tackle from Zach Mills. Guys who lose the ball, though, and
What
it's
is Danny Boschel doing there?
Southwell who comes over the halfway line. Good interception from Jake Lawler. It stood his angle well and gives it to Gavin Rothery. Rothery has a run, but Piers Gianni rather easily dispossesses him in that instance, and again Boston United come away with it, urged on by the home crowd.
Gavin's having the proverbial mare at the moment, isn't he?
He's trying to run with the ball, isn't he, at the opportune moments.
And you only have to look
right
at this
choices.
patch, 18-yard box over towards the main stand. I mean, people just can't stand up, can they?
Very slippy out there for both sets of players. Plenty of moments of losing the ball.
I'm sure Mark will be suggesting at half-time that we need to engage brain, though, because we're playing too much football.
Now Boston are coming forward again. Jones up against Danny Ellis on
Well
the angle
done,
of the
Danny
penalty
Ellis
area. Good tackle comes in from the guys' centre half. And eventually it's comfortably passed back to Stephen Drench.
I must confess I find it slightly mysterious that we're losing this game now.
Guiseley a goal down in this
That's a great
important
ball.
Vanarama Conference North match.
Well
But
done, Adie.
battling hard to win it back here. Alex Johnson on the right-hand side gives it to Gavin Rothery. Rothery and Wayne Brooksby combined, but Brooksby just couldn't take the ball away. But Guiseley win it back again. This time flicked in by Ryan Tilson towards the edge of the 18-yard box now, and flicked away. Picked up by Danny Lowe. Danny Boschel has to be called to a halt because there's an injury here. It looks like Kane Felix, who collided with Wayne Brooksby. Again, didn't seem to be much in that, but the two players collided at an awkward angle, and I think it was Felix who took a knock on that occasion on the knee.
Whilst concern for player safety exists, it's not a head injury. The referee has no right to do what he's done there. Again, perhaps it's a services thing. But the reality is he's no right to do that, and there is nothing matter with him either.
So, Felix is up on his feet, hobbling a little bit, and it'll be a drop ball just on the edge of the centre circle. And it's one of those where, guys are in possession of the ball, so...
It's not a head injury, he's not unconscious, and we're about to get a shot away. It's poor refereeing.
Garner plays it all the way back to Stephen
so
Drench.
suddenly we're 80 yards away from where we were, and look, he's back on. It's a miracle.
It's so frustrating, that, isn't it? Anyway, Killick has the ball for Guiseley. He plays it down the left channel this time, up towards Nicky Boschel. Headed out of play again. Guiseley have a throw. What we could do with is one of these long throws that we saw last week when Boston were playing Harrogate.
Yeah. We do have a long throw, of course, which is Ryan Toulson, but it's on the wrong side.
And that could be useful if we could deploy that. Danny Boschel plays the ball out to the right-hand flank.
Amazing
to the
ball.
aforementioned Ryan Toulson. A great ball with the outside of the foot. Accurate pass. Now it's up towards Nicky Boschel. He's beaten Liam Mars.
And the linesman hadn't a clue there, had he? He hadn't a clue.
It was right under his nose.
Yeah.
You couldn't see it for players charging down on him, to be fair. The throw from Ryan Toulson is short. Into the feet of Gavin Rothery. Finds
again.
Wayne Brooksby on the edge of the area. 4 players around him. Lays it into Jake Lawler. He tries to shoot. Scuffs it completely. Easily dealt with, but back now again with Danny Boschel. And into the area. And Danny Lowe ghosted round the back. Got a connection on it, but couldn't direct it on goal. And in the end, he's fired it wide and behind for a goal kick.
I suspect that puts us in double figures now.
That was a gilt-edged chance, wasn't it?
Having said that, the impression was that Danny Lowe made the call for Nicky Boschel not to attack the ball. And in fairness, his body shape and everything was good. He just didn't get it quite on target, did he? Would have been a great goal had it gone in.
It was a tough one, wasn't it? Because he did have to leap to volley, in effect, to make the connection.
But these are a shambles at the back.
At the moment, guys, he really should be capitalising on this.
Should be 3 or 4-1 now, shouldn't it? In all seriousness.
At least a couple. We should be in front, to be fair. With the balance of chances we've had, we should be in front.
And we have now, I think, adapted to the surface to an extent, and we're playing some good and appropriate stuff now.
But the scoreline is all that matters, and Boston United to have it. Goalkeeper Joel Dixon just shanks his clearance. Difficult one as Alex Johnson was coming down on him. Doesn't come all the way through to a Guiseley man. Picked up now by Gavin Rothery, 30 yards from goal. He's tripped by Piers Gianni. And the referee's going to book Piers Gianni. Oh, no, he's not. He's going to book Gavin Rothery. Oh. Somewhat surprised about that, I have to say. I think he probably took a clip. Gavin Rothery goes in the book for simulation. And to say the least, I'm surprised at that decision. And Adie's gone quiet, which usually means he's somewhere between cross and incandescent. Free kick for Boston. And that was something of an unusual decision from the referee, but
the situation there is that Gavin Rothery's got the ball, is going wide with the ball. Why would he go down? Why would he go down? It's on his better foot. Whatever. Whatever.
Guys, he get the ball back to the goalkeeper, Stephen Drench, and now win it again with Jake Lawler, who's having an excellent game in midfield at the moment. Danny Boschel now right on the right-hand side.
It really is a good job. I have got a microphone in my hand, by the way.
Nicky Boschel on the left flank, curls one into the area. It's found Alex Johnson. He flicks it away from Gavin Rothery, who's behind him. It goes all the way back to Danny Boschel. His drive at goal is deflected away by a defender, picked up now by Ryan Toulson on the right flank. Wayne Brooksby, Ryan Toulson combine. Infield again to Danny Boschel. Wayne Brooksby threads it across the face of the 18-yard box to Danny Boschel. Guys, he just can't work the angles. And it was a good ball into Jake Lawler, but he slipped, and now the counter-attack is on with Felix, the goal scorer, who's surging upfield on the right-hand side. Gets the ball into the area. Southwell in the effort. And it's just wide of the mark. But that was excellent work from Boston United after Jake Lawler had lost possession on the edge of the 18-yard box with the complicated move that guys were building up. It went quite simply down the other. Felix striving forward.
He seems to have given a free kick here, oddly.
Surely not. Surely to goodness not. Felix had the ball on the right-hand side.
He's given a corner. He's given a corner. We were just protesting about the corner, in fact.
Well, Southwell looked like he'd connected with it. It'd gone wide. Difficult to tell from where we are, but Boston now have the corner on the left-hand side. It's curled in towards the 6-yard box. It's met a Boston head, but cleared by Gavin Rothery. Only as far as Mars. Mars onto the left flank where Nicky Walker cuts in field, looks for options. Gives it to Grant Roberts. Former Guiseley man can't find Mars in good position, and Guiseley could come away with it.
I'm still completely mystified by that Gavin Rothery booking. I'm not having it, in fact.
I simply think his referee just made a mistake there. He's got that one wrong. It's one of those he's just simply got wrong.
Yeah, but it's a classic example of referees who are just busy. He's no need to get involved, does he?
Shane Killick has a bit of work to do here on the edge of the 18-yard box. He gets
Football in
the
the
ball
wrong
past him
place. Football in the wrong place with Felix in position, quick as he is. That's well played, isn't it?
Ball goes upfield towards Alex Johnson.
On the keeper's touch, please.
Taking it away from him to the goalkeeper on his right foot. He clears.
Is that ball distorts?
As far as Danny Boschel should have won it, I would have thought, but it just moved away in the air from Danny Boschel, and now there's a chance here for Boston to press. Danny Ellis gets a good foot through it, up towards Alex Johnson, takes it down well.
Edge's in a decent half, hasn't he?
Alex Johnson working busily away, yes. And wins Guiseley a throw-in. FC United 3, Fylde 0.
Money must have changed hands.
Hyde 1, Gloucester 2. Steady, Adie. Chelsea 2, Bradford City 1. So Chelsea were 2-0 up. Bradford City have just got a goal back by all accounts.
Oh, no.
A really poor ball here. Gavin Rothery's just given it away, and it's a second for Boston United. Oh, what a gift. Gavin Rothery passed the ball back into the direction of Mark Jones, and Guiseley inexplicably are 2-0 down, having been the authors of their own downfall in this game so far. 40 minutes gone. Boston United 2, Guiseley 0. What can you say about that, Adie? I mean, that is just, well, what a nightmarish moment that is for Gavin Rothery.
The problem there is the instinct to play football again. But the pitch, the surface is so treacherous that you just can't do it. And I have to say that's Gavin's been guilty of that four or five times this half already. We find ourselves 2-0 down again that we should be winning. It defies belief. It really does.
What a frustrating afternoon for the Lions again. Another away day where possession and attack play has counted for nothing at one end, but it has been a couple of chances that Boston have taken at the other end that have seen the goals, and a good tackle now comes in as Felix is surging forward to deny the man who scored the first goal. And now guys, he need to get the ball up the other end, need to get a goal back before the break, I feel, in this game. And this time Gavin Rothery goes down, and there's a card finally for a Boston United man. Quite sure who made the tackle there. Gavin Rothery is down by the touchline. Ollie Johnson goes for a little jog. I think Rothery will be okay, but it was a late challenge, not particularly malicious, but quite rightly on that occasion. Guys have a free kick, and it's a booking for the right back Tom McNamee.
Knew just what he was doing there, didn't he?
Rothery just receiving treatment. 42 minutes gone. The news isn't good. Guiseley trailing by 2-0. Kane Felix and Mark Jones the scorers. And it's proving to be one of those afternoons where we've just not taken our chances when they've been presented and when we've created them. But at the other end, we've gifted
2 goals, Colin.
Gifted 2 goals. We've been unfortunate with the first in that Ben Parker was injured at the time that Kane Felix made such... sorry, not Kane Felix, it was... made such space on the right-hand side. Guys with a free kick, it's repelled easily by Boston. Nicky Walker finds Mark Jones, the scorer of the second goal.
What's irritating is these are poor. We are much the better team, but an error as basic as that, you just cannot make at any level of football. You cannot make an error like that.
Clearance from Stephen Drench, headed away by McNamee. Forward towards Nicky Boschel, easily dealt with this time by Zach Mills.
And the uphill struggle is now enormous, isn't it? I mean, that's the simple truth of it. 2-0
down here. And Guiseley at the moment at York Street struggling to get a foothold back in this game. Killick on the halfway line, gives it to Ellis. Jake Lawler, he's got options to his right this time though. He goes towards Wayne Brooks, but it's beyond him and it's taken away by Boston United. Nicky Walker down the left hand side up towards Mark Jones rather. Good tackle comes in from Danny Ellis. Foot comes through from Scott Garner up in the air. Danny Ellis has to be called into action again. Wins a good header. And now Guiseley can come away with it. Danny Lowe had a great opportunity. to level the scores.
In fairness, Boston
On
are
the ball.
working very hard, but that's about it, isn't it?
Well, that's perhaps the thing, is if Guiseley can get the goal back, it might just change the dynamic, send the Boston defence to a little bit more jittery. At the moment, it's not looking too likely since they've got that second goal. The wind's a little bit out of our sails, relatively speaking. Now Jake Lawler can
Great
switch
ball.
things. A good ball, switch to the right-hand side. Gives it to Ryan Toulson. Into the area. It finds Alex Johnson. And Wayne Brooksby was behind him in great space. Alex Johnson's header goes out harmlessly into touch for a goal kick. And a great ball in there from Ryan Toulson.
Terrific ball, wasn't it? And in fairness to AJ there, I don't think AJ has any chance to pull out, really.
He had to go for it, didn't he? If he could just have flicked it rather than met the connection, it might have gone towards a goal, but in the end he just headed it effectively away like a defensive header, didn't he?
I know it must be hard for people listening. You're 2-0 down, you tune in and that's an awful performance. But in fairness, it isn't.
No.
We've just made one catastrophic error and one unfortunate circumstance that where somebody's injured. So it's just one of those days at the moment. And we could be
Boston might
3-0.
make it 3 now here because they've just gone through again. Dale Southwell forced out towards the touchline. He gets the ball back into the penalty area. It's picked up again. Boston United forced back as far as Jones. Jones out to Felix. Felix still in the penalty area. Good tackle comes in from Danny Lowe. Danny Lowe battling with Felix, but Felix wins the ball back. Still in the penalty area. Lays it back here to Nicky Walker. Nicky Walker on the edge of the 18-yard box. Dispossessed well by Nicky Boschel. Now can Guiseley counter-attack. Danny Boschel wins the ball. Takes it on the halfway line. He's got very little in support
Just
ahead of him.
wouldn't sit for him, would it?
And he has to go back. He had Alex Johnson ahead, but he just couldn't get his footing in the turf. And it goes back to Stephen Drench. Up to the halfway line. Flicked up in the air. Wayne Brooksby chases it. And there's a tackle that comes in. And
How
wins
can
the
there be
ball
1
back.
minute when you've had somebody lying on the floor for 2?
Yep. I know. It's going to be one of those afternoons. Guiseley trailing by 2-0 just before the break. A minute of added time to come. And now Scott Garner's just won the ball. And fortunately, referee has stopped play because he believes that Scott Garner has been over physical.
It was only 2 hands, Colin.
And Guiseley have a free kick inside their own half. And we'll need to regroup at the break. The ball's way over Alex Johnson, all the back to the goalkeeper, Joel Dixon, whose goal didn't exactly lead a charmed life, but just didn't get the final touch applied to it that was needed at the key moments in this first half. And Guiseley have conceded 2 soft goals. They're 2-0 down. And an offside now has just been given against Nicky Boschel. And a free kick to Boston. Late goal in the first half for Harrogate Town, have taken the lead at Solihull Moors. Simon Weaver's having a good spell after a torrid period.
Solihull are just the oddest team, aren't they? They had a long run of wins and then they've had a number of poorish defeats almost in a row. I think they've only had one win in 8 now.
It's not working out well for the Lions at the moment either to follow on from that defeat at Tamworth. 2-0 down at the break, and now another ball into the penalty area. Guys, you just need to steady the nerves, steady the ship at half-time with clearance from Stephen Drench up towards the edge of the 18-yard box, but Pierre Gianni gets between Alex Johnson and the ball and enables Joel Dixon to claim. So we just wait for the break. Guiseley trailed by 2-0. Joel Dixon clears, headed in the air by Shane Killick.
This is the longest
away.
minute I've ever experienced.
By Pierre Gianni. Yes, Guiseley still on the ball and still playing on. Perhaps it's a miscommunication to the 4th official, and the referee has a different time spell. Guiseley win a free kick, but it's some 30-40 yards, and it's taken quickly. And Gavin Rothery took it quickly, played it into Nicky Boschel. Referee then calls it back, and just as Nicky Boschel was clear off that back line, everyone seemed to be playing on except for the referee.
Who's one of these annoying smiley referees as well, isn't he?
Free kick to Guys, just on the break. A goal would be wonderful, but it's not going to come. It's gone straight into the arms of Joel Dixon. And the break comes with Boston United leading by 2-0. To say it's a bit of a travesty of a first 45 would be not exactly exaggerating things. 2 goals really gifted for Boston. The second, a pass back from Gavin Rothery that was straight to Mark Jones. Mark Jones managed just to slot it into the goal. An absolute gift after Kane Felix had scored the first on 8 minutes. That after Ben Parker had been taken out of the game with an injury and had left a massive gap at the back that allowed the cross to come into Felix for him to slot home easily. Guys, they've had chances. They've had chance after chance after in the first half, but just couldn't apply a sensible finish. And one opportunity that was dragged away from the goal line by Joel Dixon, perhaps the closest that Lions actually got to getting the ball over the line. But they've had plenty, excellent build-up play, excellent crosses into the box, but just haven't been able to apply the finish. Half-time, Boston 2, Guiseley 0. So let's just read through the half-time scores just before we go off air. We're just waiting for Adie to give us his wisdom, but I'll let him go for the break. And guys, I'll just quickly go down the scores that we've been keeping you track with, so you've got the half-time results. In the Vanarama Conference North, Brackley 1, Lowestoft 0, Chorley 1, Gainsborough 0, Hyde 1, Gloucester City 2, Oxford City down to 10 now, trailing by a goal to 0 to Barrow, Solihull Moors 0, Harrogate 1, Stockport County 2, Leamington 0, Tamworth 2, Stalybridge 0, Boston 2, Guiseley 0. It's a pretty miserable afternoon this so far.
Yeah, but it's one of those head-scratching moments, isn't it? Because I have to say that, after the first goal, which, comes through the space left by Ben Parker's injury, we were the better team before that. We've been the better team after it. It's just that we've made then a catastrophic error to let the second goal happen. And so far, nothing's fallen for us. But I tell you what, Colin, this is one I'm not giving up on. I have a feeling if we get one, we might get 5.
Well, it's a good point, isn't it? Because it's been a resilient performance from Boston, but you do feel there's goals in it if we can get that breakthrough.
We're the better side if we utilise our abilities as we need to on this difficult surface, and we just need, for the first time since Christmas, a little bit of luck.
Yeah, well, it's not come in the first 45. We'll be back after a 10-minute break or so. Stick with us for the second half. It can only get better. Boston 2, Guiseley 0. So welcome back here to Boston United and York Street in the Jakeman Stadium, and Guiseley are 2-0 down at the break, and we're so busy moaning and putting the world right, we almost forgot to come back on air, didn't we, Adie?
Yeah, well, apparently, according to the various people tweeting in, I probably would be better not doing anything anyway, and we may well win. I might go away.
You never know. Well, maybe it's the afternoon to purge that. 2-0 down at the break, and to be honest, it's been one of those afternoons where we've had lots and lots in the Boston goal area, but not being able to apply the finish, and they've gone up the other end and they've been gifted a goal and snatched another one in circumstances were unfortunate to us, and we're 2-0 down, and I don't think that's a biased view of it.
No, I mean, having just spoken to a couple of directors who are critical normally, they're all saying the same thing. That if you look at what Stuart Allen's written down in his book, the reality is that we've had 11 chances to their 4 and we're 2-0 down. Now that may be about our finishing, but it's also about the fact that we haven't had the rub of the green at all.
Well, guys, you've got the game underway and have just conceded a free kick. Ryan Tilson's going to get spoken to, though, for a bit of a late challenge. The referee's making a bit of a song and dance about this.
The referee's made a song and dance about everything, hasn't he, in fairness?
It's calling Ryan Tilson over from 15 yards away to have a chat with him. A couple of early goals in the second half in the FA Trophy. Dartford 1, Halifax 2. Chorley 2, Gainsborough Trinity 0, now Hyde 1. Gloucester City 3. Perhaps no surprises there. Of course, earlier on we heard that AFC Fylde are being beaten 3-0 by FC United in the FA Trophy. And now a flick on here, guys. You have to watch their lines because Ryan Tilson has to make a clearance as Boston just send the ball long down into that channel.
See, that's proper experience defending on a poor pitch, Colin. There is no back past the keeper. It goes out for a throw. What's the lesser of the two evils? And that's the sort of thing you have to do on a surface like this. All right, this lad's got a long throw, but you've got to do the basics.
And so we prepare to defend the long throw, which was witnessed last week at Harrogate Town. Didn't exactly work for him on that occasion. This one, though, goes long into the area, up towards Piergiani. Wayne Brooksby gets a touch on it. It's picked up again, though, and this time Zach Mills can't get the ball in there. Good tackle comes in from Wayne Brooksby, and he takes the ball well and intelligently, and he's got Gavin Rothery away to the left. Good work there from Brooksby. Rothery over the halfway line, sends it towards Alex Johnson on the left flank, right out towards the touchline. Johnson chases in towards the angle of the penalty area, 2 around him, cuts in towards the edge of the 18-yard box, gets a shot away, and absolutely skies it into the stand beyond. He completely fluffed his lines at the end there.
8 out of 10 for the run, though.
But that was great work in the build-up, wasn't it? Excellent work, and it all started here with Wayne Brooksby with some very intelligent defending.
And it's also, as we were saying at half-time, Colin, it seems to me from what happened in the first half that the end away from us, the Jakeman stand end, the playing conditions are just slightly better, so maybe we'll be able to put a little bit more football in that half, this half.
Because there was a lot of slip sliding about, wasn't there, in the first period. Guisey now defending because Southwell has the ball. He's laid it out to the left-hand side. The cross comes in, headed away by Danny Lowe. Boston United beginning to get the ball back in the second phase. But good foot through it, and it's up towards Nicky Boschel, but Boston win the ball back again.
Boston started quickly here, haven't they?
And it's up towards Southwell again. Danny Ellis, good firm header, or rather intelligent header, just to nod it into the feet of Ryan Tilson, and Guisey clear well.
Played by Ryan Tilson.
And Wayne Brooksby gets a touch, tries to feed it into Danny Boschel. He doesn't win that one. Jake Lawler does win this one, gives it to Danny Boschel. Boschel tries to send it immediately towards Alex Johnson, can't get it away on this occasion. Now Guisey have to defend again because Boston recover it, come down that left hand side. Jake Lawler puts the foot through, and it's out for a Boston throw.
On a difficult day, it's fair to say, I think Jake Lawler's been our star man so far. He's had 1 or 2 iffy performances recently, but he's looked very solid today. Yeah,
I would agree with that. He certainly looked very combative in midfield again and contributed. Guys, you're just defending from this throw well.
Easy for you to say, Cole.
Nothing's easy for me to say, it seems, this afternoon. The ball goes across towards Felix, and he's up against Danny Lowe, and Danny Lowe pulls him down, but the referee waves play on because Felix still has it, gets the ball into the area. There's a loose ball and a chance here, and the shot comes away and held by Stephen Drench. An effort came in from Scott Garner. I suspect that Danny Lowe might be booked actually for the way he tried to pull down Felix in the build-up play to that. And guys, he might have a problem when the ball goes dead, but at the moment Boston still have it after that excellent chance that Scott Garner just had.
You can't complain about a caution for that anyway, because frankly he's taken one for the team, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Felix was beyond him, and he certainly held him up, if nothing else. Now Boston are on the
Well
ball.
played, Jake
Lawler gets in between the man
Clearly
and
fouled,
the ball.
by the way.
He's pulled down, but nothing given, and now Boston United come away with the ball here, and Mark Jones lays it out to the left-hand side. Boston looking growing into this game since they got that second, and eventually it's gone out, and it'll be a throw into Guiseley. And the referees.
The referee is a posing little whatever. I mean, he doesn't need. He's obviously going to book him. We know he's going to book him. We don't need to go on pointing. It's just ridiculous.
Well, he didn't stop the play to do it. It's just gone out into touch. I don't think he's going to, which I think is the wrong call, frankly. I think he's got to be booked for that decision. But oh well. The ball goes forward now, and Boston United come down this left-hand side into the penalty area. They're free, and it's a chance here for the third, and it is. And it's a sublime finish from Dale Southwell, and it was a simple ball down the left-hand channel. Dale Southwell went in and just slotted the ball into Stephen Drench, and it's now on the 50th minute. Boston United 3, Guiseley 0. Surely no way back now for the Lions, and what a miserable afternoon.
No way back from there at all. No.
And it's almost as if they were listening to your first half in terms of instruction. Hit it down the channels, the ball will hold up.
Yep.
And that's the simplest goal.
Yep.
I'm sure that...
and Drenchy, in fairness, has nothing else he can do. He can't stay because the lad's inside the 6-yard box. He's aware he's not got any cover. All he can do is what he does, stay on his feet as long as he can. The lad finishes it very, very well, by the way. But no, they obviously know their own pitch.
Well, Guiseley are 3-0 down.
This is just about salvaging something from the wreckage now, if I'm honest.
Yeah. It's perhaps a game that has passed, and somehow that first 45 minutes and not being able to take our chances when they came our way is certainly coming back to haunt us. And now Boston United brimming with confidence.
We're not coping with the lad's pace either.
Felix.
The Felix has just caused chaos from minute one.
As you get the ball up to the halfway line. Can't win possession back though. And you just sense that really Boston have just grown an inch or two, and are now leading by 3-0.
I think what they've done is well.
Well, welcome back. I'm sorry we just lost our transmission there. Technical glitches, just adding to our woes this afternoon. Guys, he's still trailing by the 3-0. Not missed anything since we disappeared. Unless, of course, he didn't hear the goal, but the third one that was scored was Dale Southwell. And Guiseley have had a pretty woeful afternoon, it has to be said. Trailing here, but unfortunately not really making the opportunities in the second half to get themselves back into this game. Gavin Rothery on the ball at the moment.
No, there's been one half chance from Alex Johnson, hasn't there? One half chance from Jake Lawler, but that's been it. And I have to say that they've played that same ball into the corner now 3 times, and on all 3 occasions have done a lot with it.
The ball with Danny Boschel.
Still trying to pass in treacherous areas as well.
You just need to change the angle of this game somewhat by exploiting the conditions. The ball into the area, finds Danny Boschel on the edge of the 18-yard box, goes in for the challenge. Free kick was going to be given against him. The advantage is played because Boston United come out on the counter-attack. It's floated over the defender Shane Killock, but too far away from Dale Southall, thankfully, to capitalise. But we are, I'm afraid, 3 goals down and looking a little bit bereft at the moment of ideas to change this game, and opportunities for substitutions are limited. But there's a man down at the moment, a Boston United player down.
Who's he booked there?
And the yellow card has come out. Who for? Was it Danny Boschel when he went in for the tackle that he originally gave the advantage to?
Yeah.
There is a change going to happen on the bench. Mark Bauer has come across to speak to Danny Boschel. I can only assume it is Danny Boschel who's got booked.
It looked like him.
It was for a challenge at Apia, I would say, was on Grant Roberts. And the home fans, the away fans, the Lions fans who've travelled over here, they're having a pretty torrid time, just having an opportunity to have a cheer. And at the moment, it's pretty awful afternoon. What changes do you think they can make? What changes will Mark Bauer make?
Well, you almost might take the view at this stage. I mean, if all he's up to doing 30 minutes, he does 30 minutes. That's point one, because there's nothing lost and it's game time. But I also think maybe in this situation, you say to Jordan Henry or to whoever, right, go out and see what you can do, because we're not coming back from this, you wouldn't have thought. And when do people get game time?
Chance now for Gavin Rothery on this left-hand side. Can the Lions get back into it? Some way back would be a goal, a foothold back in this game. 3-0 down. And still half an hour to play, as Adie says.
I'm just perplexed by...
Now a slip actually just gives Alex Johnson a chance on this left-hand side to attack this Boston defence. But he's held up. Guys, he tried to thread it through. Nicky Boschel, he's got Ryan Tilson on the right-hand side in space. He
very well played.
Finds him. Tilson looks across, plays the ball towards the back post, up towards Jake Lawler, headed out and behind, and guys, you have a corner and a bright spot for the Lions now to attack this Boston goal. A couple of other scorelines just to bring you. Gloucester now 4-1 up at Hyde. Chorley 4, Gainsborough Trinity 0, and Fylde have got a goal back in that game against FC United in the FA Trophy. FC United 3-1 up now. The corner comes in from the left-hand side. It's headed down towards a goal, palmed away by the goalkeeper and behind for another corner.
Good save.
Oh, it's not actually a save. It must have gone behind past him from this angle. It looked like he might have got a touch. As is the want of things, it's actually gone behind for a goal kick. Or is he given a free kick? No, surely a goal kick.
It looked a good save from here, didn't it?
The angles have defeated us. Just to remind you, we're actually sat behind the goal that Guiseley are defending at the moment, as Boston United are attacking it. They're coming towards us, and so far I think we've seen a lot of the game in these halves. In the first half, Guiseley had most of the ball. In the second, it's been much more Boston United, and they have that third. And there's been a couple of goals as well for Tamworth. They now lead Stalybridge Celtic 3-0. That board is flashing away as if we're going to make a change, but doesn't appear to be one forthcoming. Mark Bauer, arms crossed, not looking particularly too content with the afternoon as it's transpiring. His side 3 goals down. I
think he's got every right to be unhappy, hasn't he? Because the reality is that he's got experienced players making bad choices, and that's irritating.
Now Danny Lowe comes forward from left back. He's up against Felix. Lowe gets the cross blocked by Felix. Good work from the Boston United midfielder. Lowe takes the throw in quickly. Is prevented from crossing. Gives it back to Brooksby. Lays it back here to Danny Boschel into the area where Gavin Rothery spins on the ball. And he plays the ball back out to Lowe, and guys, you haven't made any headway whatsoever. This time the cross comes in from Brooksby up to the back post. Comfortable for Dole Dixon to claim. And if in the first half we could complain about the performance not replicating in the scoreline, so far it's hard to say.
Second half has been awful.
Jake Lawler now on the ball. Gives it to Wayne Brooksby. Lawler back to Danny Lowe on the halfway line. Low back here to Killock. Killock square to Danny Ellis.
They're also working our touch very well this half. They're squeezing onto the defenders all the time when we've got the ball, making us play sort of aimless straight balls all the time rather than trying to pass.
We are bereft of ideas.
That's 6 passes and we haven't got past the halfway line.
Yeah, not an angle, not an option, not an outlet at the moment.
No.
Wayne Brooksby's got it just inside the Boston half, square to Jake Lawler. He flicks it up towards Danny Boschel. There's no space to work in. Boston claim the ball back, come away over the halfway line, looking on the counter-attack for options ahead of them. Played into the centre circle. And then Boston United look for options as they just hold on to the ball, and they can just run the ball, tick the clock down, really, can't they? With
we had
passes.
3 players there just resting behind the ball.
And then eventually a free kick's given to Boston on the halfway line. Frustrated tackle comes in. I think was it Wayne Brooksby or Nicky Boschel, one of the two. And Boston had a free kick. Guys, he will take the opportunity to make the change. Nicky Boschel coming off, and the second substitute is Ollie Johnson on. Danny Ellis already had to come on for Ben Parker early in this game. Guiseley trailing 3-0. Ollie Johnson, who has played a lot of football recently, of course had an opportunity to have a rest in the last couple of weeks. He will get 30 minutes this afternoon now. It would be something spectacular if he were to make a difference in this game. Guiseley 3 goals down. And there's the first Boston substitute as well. And it's the loanee who is going to take the place of the man who opened the scoring, Kane Felix, Messiah McDonald. And he joined midweek from Alfreton on loan, and he will come on as well. And Guiseley will be frustrated that this has taken so long, these substitutes, because it's just working the clock down. Boston United have a free kick in their own half.
I'm surprised they've taken Felix off, because I think he's been having a terrific game.
It suggests to me they think the job's done.
Yes, that would, yes. And also because the Messiah McDonald is similar in style, but he's not as quick, but he's possibly a little bit more direct.
Boston can't keep the ball in play from their throw, and Guiseley win the throw-in back in right-back position. Ryan Toulson back to Stephen Drench. With Guiseley trailing by 3-0, it would take something spectacular to get back into this game, or get anything out of this game.
Boston would have to get struck by lightning, Colin.
Gavin Rothery trying to work down that right-hand side.
What's odd about the second half performances, and in fairness to Boston, they have worked their conditions very well. We've been just so unintelligent.
And now have conceded possession, and Boston try to come down this left-hand flank, just can't keep the ball in touch. Guiseley have another throw on the halfway line. Taken short to Killick. We seem to be describing a lot of action that's just happening on the halfway line, and that's a very loose ball there from Ryan Toulson. The ball's been won, and Jake Lawler's gone down after trying to make the challenge. And I think he took a ball in the face in doing so. The referee's going to eventually allow Martin Stringfellow on to have a look at him. He gets a sympathetic pat on the back from Liam Mars, the Boston United fullback. And we'll take a couple of minutes out here whilst he gets some treatment. 939 fans are here today to watch this. Most of them are enjoying it. We're not.
No, not at all. And I have to say that I suppose if you want to sum up the day, it's Jake Lawler getting the ball volleying in his face from point blank range. That just about sums up what's been an unfortunate day at the office for us, really.
There's still some of it to go.
Yes, indeed.
Does anyone want to fill in for us for the last 20 minutes?
I have to say, though, I mean, in fairness to them, their third goal was very well worked. But it's just, if you looked at the way we played the first half, we were the better side, and I really did fancy us to do something in the second half if we could keep up the head of steam that we'd sort of developed towards the end of the half, and we just haven't done it, and it's just really, really irritating.
Well, one team that's had a bit of a head of steam is Leamington. They've pulled back from 2-0 down to draw 2-2 against Stockport. And then Scott Garner, who returns the ball to Guiseley rather less generously. Kicks the ball out for a goal kick rather than handing it back to Stephen Drench's arms. 3 goals down. The Lions having a torrid afternoon after a first half in which we dominated possession, believe it or not. We had chances to score and yet gifted 2 goals to Boston. And in the second half, Boston have been much better. Probably couldn't play as badly as they did in the first half, again. Yet still had a 2-goal to lead. And I'm sure they got a rollicking at half-time as well, Boston United, despite being 2-0 up.
I have to say, for the first time this season, I know it's hard at 3-0 down on a cold day in January, but we look dispirited at the moment. The body language is quite well down.
Need to have something to change this game in our favour, lift the side. At the moment, it's just back here with Stephen Drench, and there's hopefully not much to describe really in terms of play, because guys are just not getting forward with any structure, with any pace, with any position in the last 5 minutes or so.
And what they've done now is what I think we would do in the same circumstance.
Oh, and now Boston have just come through again, clean through on goal this time. Could this be the 4th? It is! It is, it's 4. And it was the simplest counter-attack, and Dale Southwell was put through, clean through on goal. So easy for Southwell, and Guiseley are undone again. And now, well, it's a horrible afternoon this, because Guiseley have now found themselves 4-0 behind, and game set and match for Boston.
And as we were just saying, Colin, what Boston were doing is just sitting and saying, come on then, and if they get a 4th goal like that, which is how you're always going to get one, but you know, the defending there was woeful, unintelligent and woeful. We were flat across the back 4 and we were done with a straight ball. That's woeful.
22 minutes to go, 4-0 down, and this is not good. The Lions play a long ball forward from Tilson, see, easily dealt with, and the ball goes out, and there's a little pushing match between Ryan Tilson and his opposite number, and the referee will call them both across, and we'll just wait and see what happens there, because there isn't a card in the offing, I think, for either player. A bit handbags at dawn, to be fair. Brackley 2, Lowestoft 1, so Brackley continue their recovery. They're beginning to get some results, aren't they?
Brackley, when we went down there, I thought they were decent, and I know they were at that time they were towards the bottom of the league, but you always felt they'd finish, you know, sort of halfway maybe, or just above.
Guys are just having to defend again. Killick, with a ropey ball back to Stephen Drench. Drench forced into clearing the stand, and Guiseley have a throw-in. Boston United have a throw-in about level with the edge of the 18-yard box. And it will be Zach Mills to take this one. Another long throw into the box. No doubt the result. And Boston are positioning themselves accordingly. This one comes in long towards Piergiani, and at the back post they have a man free. So cross into the 6-yard box, takes the deflection off Killick and back into the hands of Stephen Drench. And Guiseley almost concede a 5th. Now the Lions are trying to test the other end of the field, but quickly the ball is returned. And, it feels like the towel's been thrown in already. Guiseley almost caught out with a long throw right at the back post. There was a man free, and then the ball played across the 6-yard box, bounced off Killick's. Well, Killick put the interception in, and then Stephen Drench fortunately grasped the ball ahead of Piergiani.
What we're failing to do now is, I suppose, inevitably starts to happen when you're in this sort of position, is we're failing to do basics that you do 99 times out of 100. It's just a comment on the afternoon, really. Now
Gavin Rothery's got a loose ball, plays it over, hits it towards Ollie Johnson. That was the sniff of the opportunity, wasn't it? There, ball very loose to Gavin Rothery, some distance towards the goal, but he had Ollie Johnson ahead of him, and instead he just played an overweighted pass straight to the goalkeeper.
Well, he could have done one or two things, couldn't he? He could have taken it on himself and had a shot. Nobody would have complained at 4-0 down, would they? But secondarily, he could have put Ollie through. Now he does one thing or the other, and that just about sums up the second half, really.
And thanks to David Kendra. My daughter just woke up after Boston's 4th goal, made a disgusting sound, and went back to sleep. Sounds about right.
Yes.
Can we go to sleep? Wait for it to be over. Guys, you have the ball on the left-hand side. We'll try and be more positive if you're still tuning in.
It is the first time in a very long time, Colin, this second half, where I think most of the defeats this season, and there haven't been many, have all been odd goals or unlucky or whatever. I think there's only the home...
Corner comes in. Guiseley have just earned a corner and they managed to get the ball into the area. Danny Ellis has a header towards the goal, but it takes a bounce off a Boston player. It's all the way back with Gavin Rothery, who's a bit of the pantomime villain according to the Boston fans, getting booed every time he's on the ball. And he returns it in and it's headed out for a throw.
But I think that probably sums the afternoon up there. You know, we've engineered a decent opportunity, but the lads in, you know, they had to get it off the line. But it's been one of those halves where for the first time in a long time it's very difficult to say anything positive at all, isn't it?
Jake Lawler threads it into the area. Now Ollie Johnson spins in the box, gets the shot away just over the bar. It's a corner actually, it took a deflection off him. And the first time we've seen some invention from Guiseley. The ball threaded through in the second half to Ollie Johnson. His shot takes a deflection behind and Guiseley have a second corner in fairly quick succession. So perhaps things are brightening up as we head into the last 17 minutes of this game.
There's an issue about playing for professional pride here as well.
I mean, you saw it when Harrogate Town got those 2 goals. That made it look a lot less comprehensive. The ball comes into the penalty area against us, even though we were 4-0 up at the time. It's easily dealt with by Boston in the end, and now the counter-attack could be on. Brief respite, but Guiseley win the ball back well with Wayne Brooksby. Gives it to Gavin Rothery. Spins on the ball. Now the Lions perhaps can attack, but Rothery just holds on to it a little bit too long. Jake Lawler intercepts well, gives it back to Rothery.
But it's too complicated.
And then Lawler slips, caught by the turf, and now Boston come away on the counter-attack. He's onside down this left-hand side, Southwell. He cuts inside into the penalty area. He's got option square, tries to get it past to Ryan Tilson. Good block comes in from Tilson, behind for a Boston corner. And all that came, just as you were going to say, too complicated, leading to the slip, leading to the counter-attack.
6 players the wrong side of the ball in an area of the pitch. All right, it might not have the view that we've got, but you can see where they've warmed up and wrecked the pitch up the far end. Don't do it.
It's true, you can actually see the 2 lines where the players have been going their paces before this game. Now Boston with the corner, swung in towards the penalty spot, headed away by Danny Lowe, picked up here by Ollie Johnson on the edge of the area. 3 players around him, dispossessed. Boston take the ball on the edge of the penalty area, curl it in towards the back post, headed away by Killock. Only as far as Zach Mills. Zach Mills plays it square to Mars. Mars on the turn, goes past Ollie Johnson, sprays it out to the left-hand side. Onside again, and Boston United come into the penalty area and go down to the byline. The cross comes in, blocked again by Ryan Tilson. And that time it's behind for yet another corner. Substitute there, Messiah McDonald.
What's noticeable about Boston as well, and it's an easy game when you're 4-0 up, but the reality is they've got a lot of young players who are just playing with great enthusiasm. And when you're 4-0 up, you play with great freedom as well, which is what they're now doing.
Corner will come in again from this left-hand side as Boston attack the Guiseley goal. It's whipped in. Piergiani headed off the line by Brooksby. And it's still in the penalty area. Flicked up by Garner. And then behind for a goal kick. And Guiseley now have lived on their wits a couple of times in the second half. Still 4-0. And we still have 15 minutes to go in this game. And the Lions really could do with a break this afternoon, but it's not coming. Stephen Drench onto the halfway line, headed forward, headed away by Killock into the feet of Rothery. Rothery down that left-hand side. Cuts in field towards Ollie Johnson. Ollie Johnson's held up. The ball flicked on, and now Guiseley going for a running race with Alex Johnson chasing against Mills. Mills gets there first, and it's out for a Guiseley throw.
Looked to be a clear foul on Ollie Johnson there, and maybe the referee's saying he's played an advantage, but if so, can't see where it was.
The throw goes into Gavin Rothery. I'm not sure why Rothery's such a panto villain, because he shouldn't have been booked for whatever he was booked for in the first half. It's just nonsense, really. But a throw in anyway, taken by Danny Lowe on this left-hand side. Guiseley can't get forward at all. Rothery gives it to Lowe. Lowe actually gets a good ball into the area. The goalkeeper fumbles. It's free in the box. The shot comes in straight at Joel Dixon.
And that just sums it up, doesn't it?
And that was the chance, wasn't it? I think it was Alex Johnson who got the drive away, but in the end it was straight into the midriff of Joel Dixon, who managed to get back into position after fumbling the original cross.
Anywhere either side, and that's, stitched on, isn't it? But hey.
Clearance up towards Ryan Tilson. Tilson takes a bit of a heavy touch. Couldn't quite judge the turf, and Boston United will make their second substitute of the afternoon. In fact, it's going to be a double substitute. First of all, Nicky Walker is going to be replaced by Mark Newsham. And it's never good to see. Now, I'm not even going to say this scoreline because I can't quite believe it just yet. But I've got a flash scoreline of Chelsea 2, Bradford City 3.
My lord.
The second substitute is Mark Jones, who's coming off here, and he's going to be replaced by Alex Simmons. That would be something and a half, wouldn't it?
Yes, although if I'm honest, Colin, I don't care. I'm too preoccupied with this.
I'm trying to just distract myself from this, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, what they've done is they brought a couple of their Mark Newsham, very experienced on. You know, these days can't do 90, but will, you know, make sure that they don't do anything silly in this last 15 minutes.
Now Boston United try to work their way down the left-hand flank. Good tackle from Ryan Toulson. Looks like he might have been bundled over, but they still come forward. Newsham into the area towards McDonald, taken away by Toulson, who I think has been a bright spot of this performance, to be fair. Yeah,
you'd say that Tully, Jake Lawler, in the first half, Wayne Brooksby have been the high spots of a very low spot, really.
Ball over towards substitute Simmons. Simmons plays it into the penalty area. Danny Ellis has to lunge towards claiming the ball ahead of Stephen Drench and certain of what's behind him.
On the surface, Ellis is right there.
He makes the clearance and it's going to be another Boston United corner. I don't think you can argue with the decision, it's just the way it's arisen. That's frustrating. Brackley 2, Lowestoft 2 and Hyde 2, Gloucester 4 in the Vanarama Conference North. Wigan 0, Huddersfield 1 in the Championship. A corner kick, for Boston. Simmons will take the substitute from the left-hand side as they attack the Guiseley goal. Simmons whips it in, up towards the penalty spot, headed away by Danny Lowe. Picked up again by Boston on the edge of the D. Good work from Ollie Johnson to clear. Perhaps there's a counter-attack on here. Gavin Rothery over the halfway line. Danny Boschel on the right-hand side. Alex Johnson on the left. Goes right to Boschel. Boschel,
that's an awful challenge.
Alex Johnson's in the penalty area. Referee holds it back up. Surely there'll be a yellow card, for that decision. And Guiseley will get a free kick at some distance from goal. And the yellow card is indeed given. And is that Grant Roberts is in the book?
That's Grant Roberts, yeah, but I suspect that's afters for what happened to Grant Roberts before.
Yeah. So Danny Boschel, who had the chance, definitely took one for the team there, Grant Roberts, I would say, because he wanted to make the foul rather than allow Boschel to get that ball into Alex Johnson. Referee, in fairness, tried to play on. Free kick comes in now for Guiseley from this right-hand side with Wayne Brooksby. If we can get the big men up, let's just get a goal back in this game, just for giving the visiting fan, our fans who've come a long distance, something to shout about.
And in fairness, they've stayed singing and encouraging, haven't they, all the way through?
Comes in, whipped up to back post and headed behind for a corner. Yes, they have, haven't they? They've certainly been positive.
Third substitution imminent.
Looks like Jordan Hendry's going to get a run out.
Yep.
Guiseley have a corner though first to deliver from the left-hand side as they attack the Boston goal. This time whipped in by Wayne Brooksby up towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Claimed well by Joel Dixon. Danger passes. Boston United will take their time with this. Tamworth 4, Stalybridge 1. 2 quick goals. Tamworth went 4-0 up and Stalybridge got one back. Clearance upfield, flicked on by Danny Boschel. Ollie Johnson takes it in the centre circle. Plays it out towards the right-hand side. Gavin Rothery's got a chase on. He's taken a pull, as Ollie Johnson, I think, after the ball. And the referee has stopped the play to allow...
Ollie Johnson's done well since he's come on.
Yeah, he's been bright, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And
at least he's looked interested, Colin.
Yeah, well...
And he's been direct.
Is that Wayne Brooksby's coming off now?
Yep.
And Jordan Hendry will come on. So where will he play?
He can play him as a winger.
He can play in that position then.
Yeah.
He goes to the right flank. Well, if he was going to change the course of this game, it would be some story. But
yes, yes, indeed. Be worthy of his father at his pomp, wouldn't it, if he was to change the course of this game?
9 minutes to go, 4-0 down. It's unlikely. The ball whipped in anyway for Guiseley into the penalty area. Danny Ellis on the edge of the D gives it to Danny Boschel. He takes a shot from distance,
which wasn't bad, in fairness.
It was rising.
Yep.
Goalkeeper was watching it all the way. Decent connection, but just over the bar and behind for a goal kick. 4-0 to Boston United, I'm afraid. haven't got any happier news to report. Ben Parker injured in the first half. A gift of a goal to make it 2-0, and yet Guiseley were the dominant side in the first period. But in the second, Boston, well, they've played the game very well, and they've managed the game very well.
They have managed the game. I think that's a great description. They've managed the game very well. They've sat back, having scored the third goal. No need to panic. Is it 3-0 up? And then we've been naive for a fourth goal, and you know you've got to hand.
Cross comes in here. Gavin Rothery's found some space in the area, takes a shot and gets a goal back for the Lions. The cross came from nowhere. We were just busy talking about how Boston had managed the game. The ball came in, a whipped in ball that went beyond Ollie Johnson, found its way to Gavin Rothery, and he gets the goal back, but of no great importance really, but
took it well.
It was a good strike, and with 7 minutes to go, it's now Boston 4, Guiseley 1.
According to the fans, we're going to win 5-4, Colin.
Well, you never know, do you?
Yes.
Yes, you're right.
In fairness, though, we have created a few little bits this last 10 minutes, haven't we?
Yep, we have.
And if we had the benefit of Sky Stats, I still suspect we're ahead on the temps, but that's neither here nor there, is it?
That would all come from the first half and that spell, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And they've clearly taken the foot off the gas, not least because they have, but from the two substitutions who, as I say, are both quite they're experienced, but they don't have 90 minutes in them. So
Tilson now on the right hand side as Guiseley go forward again. Hendry gets the ball into the edge of the 18-yard box to Ollie Johnson, spins on the ball,
plays it back. The thing about Jordan, he's very neat and tidy, so he'll always pass the ball well.
Guiseley lose the ball in the end.
Well recovered.
Picked up well though by Danny Lowe. Danny Lowe has his shirt tugged at, but nothing given. Again, the ball goes forward and it's cleared by Boston. The counter-attack is on again. Danny Ellis makes a sliding tackle but can't complete it. Boston through again on goal. Good save from Stephen Drench. The ball still with the home side, and the drill comes in. Is a very poor drive in the end from the man who scored the first goal in the second half, Dale Southwell, and it's behind for a goal kick.
How many mistakes have been made on the edge of this area by both teams in this game? It quite simply is the case. So do the basics. Does it take 85 minutes to learn? Do basics.
Well, to be fair, I think Danny Adds was trying to do the basics there. When he slipped, he just couldn't get the foot through it that he was hoping for. Killick is just laying the ball back to Stephen Drench in a very difficult position. He was closed down by
Drench has done well there, hasn't he?
And Drench managed to clear, and absolutely
that's a foul from here.
And a free kick now for Guiseley. 5 minutes to go. 4-1 to Boston. Not what we were hoping to report.
Actually, I'm just pleased with the one, if I'm honest, and pleased with the lack of complete collapse as well, Colin, which I think threatened at 4-0.
The fourth went in very early, didn't it? And that's what, if you're just tuning in, that's worth reminding you. Dale Southwell's second, which was the fourth, wasn't it, was 68 minutes. So 22 minutes, and we were rocking badly at that point. But clutching at straws in terms of positives, really.
There are no positives from today. As I say, the only things you would say that I think Jake Lawler had a good game for an hour. I think Wayne Brooksby was at his best first half, and you can say that since Ollie Johnson come on, he's done better. Alex Johnson's put a decent 90 in, but other than that, no, it's been woeful.
Guiseley trying to defend and get the ball out from a throw-in in left back position and giving it away, and again Boston are a bit wasteful as they come forward with Simmons playing the ball straight into Danny Ellis. Jake Lawler on the edge of the area is out-muscled, and now Boston United come through again.
See how that ball
middle,
then?
And ball gets a shot to Dale Southwell. This time it goes straight at Stephen Drench. And the frustration watching Guiseley try to defend this is incredibly frustrating, actually.
Every time Boston attack, you feel there could be a catastrophe. Which, in fairness, was how it was first half with us, because the surface is so treacherous at this end.
Well defended there by Boston as the ball went towards Alex Johnson. Never gave it up. We have 4 minutes left. Guiseley trailing 4-1. Barrow are leading 3-0 now at Oxford City. Ball into the feet of Ollie Johnson. Spins inside the centre circle.
He's done
gets the
really
ball
well
out to the left-hand side. Gives it to Gavin Rothery. Rothery down the left flank, having a little run at the full-back here. McNamee who holds him up. Now he's got 2. He gets the ball into the penalty area, but it's blocked and repelled again by Boston United, and they come away with the ball. Mark Newsham. And a long one forward, headed on by Danny Ellis. And then Jordan Hendry in a right back position. Gives it to Danny Boschel. He's blocked and prevented from going forward, and Boston come away with the ball again. This time a good foot comes in for Jordan Hendry's tackled, but does win Guiseley a throw-in.
Danny Boschel's had a very poor game.
Throw comes in here from Tilson. It's blocked. Just trying to make the yards up really with time ticking. We've got just the 3 left of ordinary, plus whatever will be added on. Hope it's not too much. With Guiseley trailing by 4 goals to 1. We've had enough and want to go home. Guiseley trying to get the ball down that right flank. But Boston to keep defending, get the ball out. A chance here for Ryan Tilson. I think he should launch a long one.
And we're waiting now for the injury, aren't we? Whether it's cramp or whatever. Is it cramp?
Yes. Player goes down with some nondescript injury. So we'll just wait up a few seconds. I think it's Pierre Gianni. A couple of other goals to tell you about. Stockport County have scored 2. 4-2 now they lead Leamington. They had been pulled back to 2-2 after going 2-0 up. It's 4-2 now. The throw comes in from Ryan Tilson into the chest of Alex Johnson. He can't spin. Not sure who got the Man of the Match award, but...
it is a very indistinct PA system, isn't it? Not to care, but I'm just saying it's hard to hear, isn't it?
Guys who win the ball back, I'm sure they'll feel there's many options for Boston United this afternoon.
Oh, indeed.
Guys who can't make any headway into that final third, though. Boston again clear their lines, get the ball up towards the 18-yard box. Shane Killock having to defend just in front of Simmons. And the ball goes forward from Killock, flicked on by Tilson, flicked on by Ollie Johnson, and then helped away. And a very loose touch from Killock, just gifted the ball to McDonald. He lofts the ball over Stephen Drench into the goal, and the man who signed on loan, Messiah McDonald, has been gifted a chance to have a shot on goal, but he applied such a cool finish to it, lofting it over Stephen Drench into the back of the net. Excellent strike in the end, strike he shouldn't have been allowed to have. And well, it just caps off a miserable afternoon for the Lions. 5-1 to Boston. And Bradford City, well, if there's anyone who's got dual allegiances, they'll be happy to know that Bradford City are winning 4-2. Perhaps at least that one thing is that takes the headlines away from anything that happens here, isn't it? 5-1. And Adie speechless at the moment.
Well, I think the thing that is making me particularly speechless here, Colin, is that's 4 goals out of 5 that have been gifted by defending which belongs in the playground. Quite frankly, yes, it's just awful.
Well, guys, haven't got away with this yet as well. 5-1 down, and Boston still coming forward.
I think the thing that's really struck me about this is also the fact that we've just been so unintelligent. Literally now, that's 4 out of 5 that are just down to catastrophic defending.
Yeah, I mean, how many times has it been that it's a loose touch, a poor ball, and it's been a one-on-one situation?
Be about your business. I don't care. I don't care what the bloody pardon me. I don't care what the scoreline is. I don't care if it's whatever. You stick to your professional principles and you play, and you do the basics. And we haven't, and it's been embarrassing, some of the defending today.
Well, Ollie Johnson gets a good foot to prevent McDonald, who scored that 5th goal, the substitute, from getting over the halfway line, but at the expense of a Boston United.
Have we indicated corner? Are we adding yet, Colin?
I think he said 4.
Right,
he said 4, and I reckon we've had 3 of them.
Well, he must be enjoying himself.
Sorry, not 3 of them. We've just into the first one. Sorry, beg your pardon. Lowestoft have turned around the 2-1 deficit to lead 3-2 now at Brackley, and here Boston come again into the penalty area. This time Danny Ellis gets across Newsham to prevent him going any further. And Jordan Hendry gets the ball in the halfway line and sort of pokes it forward, not towards anyone in particular.
I was just about to say commentators curse now having struck that he'd done well since he'd come on.
And here come Boston United now on the left-hand side. They're into the penalty area again. This time it's a very poor touch, but I'm sure he won't worry about that in the scheme of things from Newsham, but it's behind for a Guiseley goal kick. North Ferriby through in the FA Trophy, having beaten Farnborough 2-0. Halifax and Dartford will have to go again, 2-2 there. 5-1. If you're just joining us just to hear what's happening in the end of this game, you might regret it. Guiseley are trailing by 5-1 here at Boston United, and it's been one of those games where we didn't take our chances in the best spell of the game, and then we've been chasing the game and we have just conceded some very, very sloppy goals. And Boston United have just conceded a free kick on the halfway line. Finish between Chorley and Gainsborough, 4-1. And Guiseley will take the free kick. Danny Lowe looking ahead of him for options. Plays it long into the area towards Jake Lawler. The nod down goes beyond him. Drilled in by Hendry, hoping to get a goal for his cameo appearance. Hendry, good footwork. Drills the ball from distance. Actually, it wasn't so bad.
No, he's got a good shot in his Jordan. He's got a good goal for the academy in the last outing with them.
And it's gone behind for a goal kick. I'm not quite sure, but it does say Chelsea 2, Bradford City 4 here.
Yep. Well, in fact, a couple of the passing fans have just confirmed that's 2-4.
So one heck of a result happening in the FA Cup. FC United have beaten Fylde by 3-1 in the FA Trophy. We're losing 5-1 here at Boston United.
I was trying to think back through the memory banks to the last time this happened, and I think we go back for a worse result all the way back to Alfreton
when we went down to they went down to 10 men. Yeah, 6-0, wasn't it?
6-1.
Was it 6-1?
Yeah.
I don't remember the one.
But it's just
horrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Referee ends our misery. I can't really describe it. 5-1 at the end here. Guiseley were the better side in the first half, found themselves 2-0 down, gifting the second goal. We're unfortunate with the first, but it was still perhaps a sloppily conceded first goal. But in the second half, we expected a response. We were expecting a bit of a recovery. It just never came, and in fact, Boston United managed the game very well and racked up a couple of extra goals. Dale Southwell, Jones on the score sheet. And then in the end, despite a late Gavin Rothery goal, we still went on to concede a fifth. At the end, it's finished here, Boston 5, Guiseley 1. Final thoughts, Adie? Final thoughts?
Well, I mean, I think we summed it up through the game, Colin, haven't we? I thought at 0-2 at half-time, we really had a chance. I thought we were the better side first half. Second half, for 25 minutes, we've been appalling. The fifth goal's an irrelevance in a sense, but we haven't raised a head of steam. We've been unintelligent. We've defended appallingly, and very, very few players can hold their heads up from that performance. That was an awful performance. It's just a dreadful day at the office.
Well, sorry we couldn't have brought you any better news here from York Street, where Boston United have got a commanding 5-1 result against Guiseley, and not something we were expecting whatsoever, with the Lions effectively pulled apart in the second half by Boston United with some very sloppy defending, a lot of it of our own making. Quickly, just to finalise the scores that we've been tracking today in the Vanarama Conference North: Brackley 2, Lowestoft 3, Chorley 4, Gainsborough Trinity 1, Hyde 2, Gloucester City 4, Oxford City 0, Barrow 3, Solihull Moors 0, Harrogate Town 1, Stockport County 4, Leamington 2, Tamworth 4, Stalybridge 1, Boston United 5, Guiseley 1. That one game in the FA Cup. Chelsea 2, Bradford City 4. Yes, you are hearing right. And in the FA Trophy, Bath City 1, Altrincham 0, Bath City through. Dartford 2, Halifax 2, Farnborough 0, North Ferriby 2, Hemel Hempstead 0, Torquay 2, FC United 3, Fylde 1, Woking 2, Dover 3, and Wrexham 1. Gateshead are on. I'm sorry we couldn't bring you any better news here. It's been one of those afternoons. Let's just write it off, pretend it never happened, eh? We'll stick this one between me and you. It finished here, Boston United 5, Guiseley 1.